Hello and welcome everybody. Here's our French ball. So I'm going to try to keep this video as concise and clear as possible. I'll start from the macro view here. You can see on the chart, and I will zoom in gradually to check the potential alternative counts that we have on the lower time frames, and we'll take a look at other way of looking at the chart. Will be 100% focus on Bitcoin as usual for this one. But yeah, I believe this is a crucial time. We are right now at a crucial level with very high fear, a lot of volume, very low or very oversold conditions, and yeah, a bit at the edge of the creek, as we can say. Really need I believe we really need the bulls really need to show themselves rather soon if we want to be able to stay bullish in the mid-term on Bitcoin and on the crypto as a whole, obviously. So here is my main account. It didn't change for quite a while. In fact, it never really changed since I started to do Aliot with. So I'm counting this as a wave 1 with pretty nice 5 waves up that reach target and retrace. The bear market of 2014-15 being wave 2. The main bull market of 2017 being wave 3. Wave 4 finishing in 2018, and supposedly we're looking at a wave 5 here. Like many of other AUTicians, I've been looking at this as a wave 1, 2, 3, us being in a wave 4 here and going for a wave 5, finishing a macro 5 waves and pulse on Bitcoin and going then for a longer correction. Now, it will not be news to anybody that the retrace is starting to be quite heavy, if you can say. We are retracing a lot. That said, the only true invalidation we have for wave 4 is the top of wave 1. At least for Standard & Poor's, which is right now on Brave Index at 13,800. That's the only true invalidation for wave 4, but obviously we don't want to see wave 4 going too much slow, especially when we had already a really deep wave 2 that retraces almost to the origin of the proposed wave 1 here. In the Elliott wave theory, usually we look for alternations. What does it mean? It's like when we have a deep wave 2, we look for a rather shallow wave 4. And in the contrary, if we have a shallow wave 2, we may look for more retrace on wave 4. You can see here we have this log growth curve. We are breaking again right now the bottom of the original bottom of this channel. We still have the minus 236 extension of this logarithmic curve that is coming still a bit lower and still above top of wave 1. So I would not say that wave 4 is unvalidated. In fact, I'm still looking for this scenario. But I have to consider alternatives because we're getting really close to invalidation. And don't forget here, I'm looking at a logarithmic chart. which is quite normal for Bitcoin because we cannot look at a macro view without using log, obviously. But when we look at linear, even just for this part that is interesting us, the one that is starting from the bottom of 2018, then you can see that this wave 4 is really starting to be really big compared to the rest here. Even if we extend it, I mean. And in terms of time, well, we gotta check it out right now. I'm gonna use a few time just to compare the length of wave 4, proposed wave 4 with wave 2. We are at more than 161.8. I would say up to twice the time. Wave 2 was still okay, in my view. When we're starting to go more than twice the length of the wave it is supposed to be linked to, it's a bit too much. And compared to the proposed wave 3, which is most here, the true count here, yeah, we still have a bit of room. Of course, it's getting long. It will have been the longest wave in terms of time here. Now, this remain my main count until true invalidation, or at least the lower time frame invalidation that we will talk about in a minute. So, because right now we are reaching what I believe to be already the maximal low that we can go. I mean, I could see us go just slightly lower into the 1790k, but yeah, I believe we really need to reverse rather sooner than later. Now, if this is not a wave 4, what can it be then? Simply, I will guess at the most likely count become this one, at least in this this right now. So that would mean we finished the 5 waves, and potentially we finished already the macro 5th wave. So truly that wouldn't be really good, because that would mean well, a longer bear market. We can expect this 3k 10k range to hold, but we could even go below 3k at that point. I believe that if Bitcoin was to going below 3k, it will have failed its main purpose. I think there is still a chance that we can recover, especially if we can find support into the 9k area. We see on the other chart we have quite important volume support here, but going much lower will be, yeah, iffy for the bulls. In fact, you know what is happening right now at the low is, you probably heard about it. We have 3 AC and Celsius that are getting more or less liquidated, that are 2 really big names in the crypto industry, which have multi-billions of exposure. And yeah, if we are in the process of cleaning the crypto industry of over leverage or unreasonable company, well, that could take a long time. Alternatively, we could still be into a wave 1 here of the larger wave 5 and going for a wave 2 So that would mean we can still retrace to 14k, even 9k, but that would mean a potentially way quicker recovery. We'll see that will break several trend we have right now, but this is a young asset overall, and so the data we are looking at are not necessarily definitive. You know, there is one as well, simple one that is used in fact in most markets, the 200 weekly moving average, and well, we believe an asset to be in a bull trend as long as it stays above its 200 weekly moving average, simple moving average, which Bitcoin did since the beginning of this moving average. In fact, one of the first bear markets ended on this 200 moving average, 2018 as well. We had a spike below it during the COVID crash, but recovered from it. We also did close slightly below it for a week. Something to remind. So now we are again indeed below this 200 moving average. So if we want to keep a bull trend, so especially if we want this to be a wave 4, I believe we really need to recover rather soon. Decide. That's one of the reasons I would expect at least an attempt of bulls to rally from where we are right now at on Friday, almost 7 p.m. UTC. I would expect an attempt to rise above this moving average before Sunday, and I would prefer it does. Now, as you can see, it is not necessarily an invalidation, and after all, this asset only have 1, 2, 3, 4 tests of this moving average, so it's not necessarily a rule. But it is a rule for the market as well. Yeah, financial people are looking at. So let's move on now. We'll flip to what, Coinbase chart. We see already pulled a few levels here. First of all, right now, so this is a fib level pull from bottom to top with the logarithmic scale setup. Right now we are at the 382, so this is still a nice retrace for a potential wave 4. Knowing that I should have started with my main scenario, maybe that was be more coherent. Main scenario that still is mine, that looking at this to be a wave 4. Yeah, is this WXY. In fact, wave 3 ended here, and here we have a flat to start the W, which change a bit where we pull our fib level from. So here it is pulled from this high, which make our 382 just where we are right now. You can see I made this count with so a WXY as a flat, with X being a higher low than the W, the origin of W, and we have an ABC move here potentially. Already the W from X, so we have a fib tool that is pulled from this fib extension tool, and we are reaching the 1618. So again, quite a maximal extension we expect for such a move. We also have this ABC then, and we are looking at this wave C to finish 5 waves here. If we zoom in a bit more, for this fifth wave, which is the sub count here in yellow. We are looking to potentially finish a wave 4. I would believe it is not done yet. It is possible, definitely. We retrace enough to a wave 4, for a wave 4, to the 236. Wave 4 can retrace more, and obviously, as I stated, I would like to see more of a rally over the weekend, so potentially I would like to see a nice short squeeze, showing us some strength to maybe then finish the fifth wave. And here we have the maximum extension projected for the fifth wave. So we don't have to go that low, it's just the maximum extension we expect for the wave 5 here in orange, so the higher degree, not the yellow one. For the target for the yellow, we'll have it only when wave 4 is finished, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna zoom in a bit more after to talk more about this wave, this sub count here in yellow, another chart. But I want to come back right now on the alternative I was talking. So on the Coinbase chart here, if we are not indeed in a wave 4, it would mean that most likely we are finishing an impulsive move here, and so we have a finished move here. So, well, most likely this is one of the options. We could also have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning that we could still be in wave 1, 2, and still be in a wave 3 here. That will be sub wave 1, 2 of the 3, but that gives us a bit too crazy target to be really realistic. So I'm starting from the point where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here finished. Again, it doesn't mean we are done. It doesn't mean that the big macro 5 is finished here. Say it's possible that we didn't have a blow off top then, that the macro wave 5 is finished and we are going into oblivion for several years. But it could also mean we finished only wave 1 of 5. Now, that is more credible than wave like this being wave 1 of the 3rd. Why? Because wave 5 can finish as an ending diagonal with overlapping price action and with shorter and shorter wave. So if that was the case, we will have, I've talked to this on the chart. Sorry, I'm gonna flip back on this to be more clear. No Brave New Coin. That's where I got the higher degree counts. I keep this here. So let's come back. This, yeah, I'm finishing this and this one. So we have 5 waves here, and this could become then wave 1. Could be in wave 2. We could be doing wave 3. Could be 4 and a 5, and finishing as some kind of ending diagonal, so contracting price action, overlapping, and shorter and shorter waves, and still reaching our target we are looking at, because a target for the wave 5 for me, it was at least literally 200k. Then it could go higher if we take more time, but yeah. And so we could be still going here, and in fact it makes a bit of sense, well, in the sense that if Bitcoin is really a maturing asset, we should expect it to become a bit less volatile, and so here an ending diagonal will make the rise slowing down a bit and having more contracting price action to finishing this wave, and still give us nice target overall. So just the global idea here. The drawing here is not something to to follow, especially it's just to have this in mind. So let's come back on Coinbase. So now what can we do from this? Well, the only thing we can do right now, well, is still be focusing on a potential reversal happening here. But if it doesn't, we have to be aware of where are our next support, and whatever is the higher degree count, there is still level to be traded. What are the supports next? Well, we have a confluence of the 50% on 161.8 extension and the 50% retrace extension of this move. So 161.8 Fib tool set on a log scale again, because it is not usable other way with the extension tool here. That will be in theory the maximum extension we expect for wave C, so for a corrective move, or the minimum extension we expect for wave 3. So when we reach such level, we are right into where we can be in an ABC or a 1, 2, 3. And we'll still be above the top of wave 1. So in theory, if we ignore a bit as a lower time frame count from here, somehow maybe we have a fifth that extend a bit too much. I don't know, we have to try to count something else. We could have a WXY as well, with this being an ABC and this being an ABC. Make a WXY. The target will be similar anyway. Yeah, let's keep on going on. Make this not too long. So a bit above 14k. So for 14,500, we'll say, will be still a potential in between target, meaning that, well, it will be between the all-time high and the top of wave 1, the previous all-time high, obviously, and the top of suggested wave 1 here. Next, the really important support will be around 9k, where we have our golden pocket retrace, and we have a point of control of all this range where we really had a longer accumulation here. So it should play support. Then next, if this doesn't hold, again, it is a very high time frame level, so it doesn't have to hold intraday or intra-week. It can spike a bit, and as long as it is defended on, we'll say, weekly close above it, still okay. But if we lose this area as support, then unfortunately the really next important support is only at 4k. And yes, this is not why I call this video 4k, just because it is recorded in 4k. So yeah, we could expect at least support to, we should expect it to play support at least once. So this is why I'm suggesting here, if we're going down here, we could expect a wave 3, wave 4, and maybe a wave 5 coming here. Could this be still corrective? We'll see if it happens, how we could see it. There's always a possibility, but obviously if we reach that low, considering the extension we are reaching and considering where we would be in terms of overall situation, that will most likely just be the first wave of a corrective move, and we'll have still potential for a nice bounce, maybe even retest the low 30k, and before correcting again. And this is projection here, ABC zigzag, but it rarely play as easy as you can see here. We have a triangle then, and we have C very shallow. Here the same, we have very not clear price action. Corrective move in Bitcoin tend to be difficult. They are more difficult than the impulses that are pretty clear. So yeah, that's what I'm prepared for. That's also one of the reasons why I'm not closing any of my short positions. I mean, the long-term ones. As a short that have been taken from 65k, I think. I didn't catch top here, but 65, I think I got a short here, here. The fact that each swing high, and even on the lower time frame, I'm still gladly taking sensible shorts when they are given. When I'm on a lower time frame, the one that are being taken down here, obviously I'm taking more profit on this one. I will close the other shorts when we start to have more signs that we have a bottom. And most likely I will not close that one as a first sign of bottom, but rather after more strength, more confirmation. So yeah, I guess that's all. We talked about the macro. We know we have still level below. We have important support. Of course, you can still pull your volume profiles, and your Fibritase is like the most useful tool in this kind of situation, or in trading in general. So that's what you are looking at. I'm not giving much alpha here. It's a known situation. Now, I'm giving this level. That doesn't mean that I'm looking for this to break. I'm looking for a reversal where we are right now, and I'm still looking at it. Even if it's starting to look really iffy. For one reason already, because we are extreme fear, because we are reaching liquidation of big name in the crypto sphere. So it's not like retail liquidation, but at least over leverage or overexposed and potentially non-sensible trading and bad decision from a company. So maybe it's just a big clean of the crypto sphere, and we have already reached that crucial fear level where most of the people are starting to look at more downside, especially knowing the context for the also stock exchange and global economy, at least for the Western world, which look as well pretty iffy. So yeah, bottom tend to build when fear are at its maximum, and that's potentially where we are. Did we see enough capitulation yet? I can't say for sure. If we look at the volume here on Bybit, it wouldn't seem so. If we look at the volume on an aggregated spot exchange, our spot chart here, it's an aggregated chart from several spot exchange. Clearly we are reaching level of volume not seen since since the last bottom at 30k, or the top we had here at 40k, or the bottom from the COVID crash. We are really at this kind of volume. It's also the kind of volume we see during, well, it is a volume that shows capitulation. Already we have some kind of little problem here, is that we have bigger volume into a supposedly wave and supposedly wave 5 than wave 3. Usually it should be the opposite, and we are breaking the potential pull divergence we had on the daily. But it is an extreme condition, so I would not consider this an invalidation. It's only something we are looking for usually. We had here, we have higher volume during the wave 3 than the wave 5 here. So we are looking at finishing 5 waves down here. Good. Into this 5th wave again, we are looking at finishing 5 waves in this, which is suggested here in yellow, and potentially we have found the bottom of wave 3 already. So I'm gonna shift on another chart to see the lower time frame. Now the yellow counts become orange. That's the one we are looking at. I made for now 2 alternative count on this. So you see, I'm just starting from the significant swing high we have here. Whatever happened, whatever is a higher degree count, in fact, we will still be looking at 5 waves starting from this point. So that's why it is interesting. That's one of the really useful thing in Elliott wave. Even if I'm wrong on the higher time frame count, I'm still looking to finish 5 waves here. And after 5 waves, we see a rally in the opposite direction. If my higher degree count is correct, that will be the low. If it is not correct, that could be just a temporary low. But we should have confluence between even bear and bull scenario. Now, I might be wrong on this subcount still. For me, we have a really good candidate for wave 4, because one of the things already is that we reach the 361.8 extension, which is already quite an extended target for wave 3. So I pull my fib obviously from the 1 to 2. The length of 1 projected from 2, and we reach 361.8 extension of the wave 1. And the subcount work for me, ending with some kind of ending diagonal. Now this is a bit iffy, but we have well, seems to me there is a chance still. It doesn't look really bouncy, but it seems there is a chance. So it is possible that wave 4 is finished already, but I would like more bounce. Why? Just because the time wave 2 took, and even wave 1, and even wave 3, but wave 4 is more linked to wave 2. Well, this seems a bit quick compared to the other waves, so I would want this to correct a bit longer, and I would like bulls to show their strength and close above the 200 moving average, at least once. That wouldn't be my preferred scenario. If we can do this, it is far from being done yet. But if we could close, yeah, you know, the $22,300 is about this level. So it's just the top of our range currently, about the top. If we can just rally here and be able to close above, maybe even higher and start retrace, but still close above, that will be fine to me, and that will give me more confidence that this count is right. Alternatively, a bit more bearish, we'll say, at least short term, is wave 4 already being here in high. So I made an alternative count for this, making wave 3 finishing a bit before, just, yeah, an alternative for the inside count, the wave 3. And here we'll have a flat here that fit as well, in my opinion. More likely an ABC, but it could be an ending diagonal, whatever. Does it finish here or here and wait for here? Doesn't make a big deal. Likely we have still a significant wave 3 and wave 4 here. So either we have a wave 4 and internally as a flat here, either we have a wave 4 here and a wave 4 here of higher degree. You see, it seems to be high. We have extra confluence for this. No, sorry, for the original one, because we have lower volume between the bottom of 3 and 5, don't especially mind the spike of volume here. It is due to the Fed meeting. Extra volatility, we always have a spike of volume. It doesn't mean anything. It was just the algorithm that go crazy during a few minutes. We have divergence on 1 hour. We have divergence even on 4 hour, I believe. We have divergence even on daily. It is invalidated, I think. I talked about this. No, yeah, that was between the two others. But for our bull div coming from oversold is something pretty significant in theory. Now in strong movement, it doesn't necessarily mean reversal right away, but yeah, that's what it is. So now, if we have, so if we are in wave 4, I'm expecting a rise over the weekend. If we do this and close above the 22,300. $50,000 before Sunday, I will be happy, and for me this scenario will stay very relevant. Now alternatively, if we keep dropping here and we lose our current low, well, I would potentially look at this alternative count that say we are already into wave 5, and then the target for wave 5, well, it's pretty wide, as you can see. I put all the target pull. It could come all the way down to 15k here. As you know, it's still inside the what can be relevant, at least for the macro counts. But for the in-between count, this orange one, we supposedly have a max extension coming as low as 17k 700. Can see price go a bit below, but that's why 15k seems too much for me. And then we will need to be able to count 5 waves here. So here with a length of what could be wave 1 and wave 2, or wave 2 could be coming a bit higher. We'll have to remain attentive on what happens, even if we have a rise. If we don't manage to go all the way up, to potentially have a short opportunity, if this is just doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe an ending diagonal of some kind. Maybe whatever, I don't know. I don't know for now, before price is telling me. Now we have signs of an attempt of a reversal. There is price, there is a change of character. Obviously, we have acceleration. Come on, I want my pen, thank you. I say the pen. Acceleration to the downside, increase of volume, and then we have lesser volume and deceleration and stronger bounces. So we have change of character. This is a range that is building, which is becoming either a redistribution or an accumulation. And yeah, alternatively, again, take another alternative. I could say maybe wave 3 is not finished. Yeah, and maybe I fucked up something here, and we are in again something else. What could we see? Maybe some kind of ending diagonal for the wave 3, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I can't know for sure. It seems that we have a lot of support, and I wouldn't be short in a breakdown necessarily, and I would still be potentially looking for long if we do some kind of swing failure pattern like we did here, for several reasons. One of it is a lot of bids visible on the order book, and me being a bull. I want to defend the market. I'm still short from here, even from here. well, on this one I take more profit obviously, but since I'm low, so I'm still shorting, but in the only objective of accumulating more Bitcoin in case we go down, and protect my odds in case we go down. And if we were to reclaim this, I will be out. Well, already if we reclaim this level, I will be out of all my short-term shorts. We'll still have the upper ones, obviously. Still be looking for another short to the downside. Here I'm still looking for long currently to target the top. I'm mixing the two and trying to always be positioned on both sides of the range and taking profit more or less condition of the bias. Talking about bias here, this is a range that I've been looking at for a few days, projecting. Initially the first time I talked about it was here, potentially looking at a preliminary support, but obviously we went down. We have a preliminary support here with huge volume coming here, and you see here signs of absorption, because there is really a lot of volume, but there is not necessarily acceleration in the downside. We have really moving down acceleration, but comparing this volume to what we had during this one, this is more like absorption of panic selling and liquidations, in my opinion. And in fact, well, it's when we reach the crucial long-term level of Bitcoin that bulls are defending, and you can see on social media several big Bitcoin bulls talking about buying now, not panicking. It doesn't mean we will be right or we will succeed, but this is where we rather buy spot Bitcoin than anything else. And so yeah, so large volume suggesting preliminary support, smart money starting to slow down the trend and before reversing it, we're going into a selling climax with a bit lower volume but still significant automatic reaction. That is our first strong counter trend bounce, a squeeze of the late short and take profit from big short from upward. Then we have a secondary test that comes as a lower low, so pretty aggressively. Big volume again, but nice reaction out of it, so nice. We got nice volume on selling climax, nice volume on secondary test, and this is the biggest volume we see for a while. And you see that price is not accelerating down, it's not a breakdown, it's not capitulation, it's bouncing out of it. Have the characteristic potentially of an accumulation. Now we have the spike of volume during the FOMC, the Fed meeting. I don't know how to pronounce the acronym. 43 minutes, I got to accelerate a bit. Then here potentially we have a secondary test in phase B. So considering the count higher, let's say we have a wave A for wave 4. Here potentially a wave B, and I would like us to go up here, but price is not doing what I would like it to do for now. We have significant volume still. Secondary test in phase B can do a lower low as well. So as long as we got we can continue to do a little range or just bounce of it. As long as it is recover it and manage to go towards the top of the range value are high here in the blue line, that will be fine. And in fact, the fact that the secondary test made a lower low compared to the proposed selling climax here, it is suggesting that at some point we will break that low. It is likely. Also considering the count we have, that this is at best a wave 3, it is likely we'll break it. We don't have to break it on the secondary test in phase B, we can break it on a spring later on, after we finished our wave 4. And price action here can, in fact, that's what I would like the best is if we can bounce here, trap a bit of FOMO, squeeze some late short. The bulls that have been buying heavily aggressively here can exit a bit of the position with the new liquidity of the reborn enthusiasm. They can exit a bit, and then they can defend the low again. And that's how is reaccumulation range built. There is always buy at the low and sells at the high, which I gonna win. Yeah, well, that's what makes it redistribution or accumulation. And so yeah, potentially I expect price action to really slow down and take its time before doing a spring for the fifth wave. If this happens, if this is the correct scenario. So really it could take a lot of time. It doesn't necessarily have, but I believe it could, because it will make that if we find enough liquidity, enough FOMO here in the bounce, and the bounce we have 382 up to the 50, so it could come 24 up to $25,000. Minimum we look for wave 4 is what we already reached here, the 0.236, but it could retrace up to 25,000. In fact, here with the Fib pool, we have the 161.84. We see that not work. Anyway, keep going. So, oh yeah, yeah, we could see a slow drawdown to terminate wave 5 maybe as an ending diagonal, or anyway something a bit overlapping and not very clear, and make everybody bored and the late buyers at the boat above well, get out of the market eventually, because they are too afraid that this is not a rule. And this is just a suggestion for now. It's still early. If we bounce and retrace, the range become even more relevant. But for all we know, it could be redistribution, and we could be breaking down and a retrace already, and yeah, selling climax, automatic reaction, secondary test, the trust, show of weakness. Well, that will be the show of weakness at PSY. But yeah, I believe we have chances of building back up. I forgot to talk about this, but this is just a VWAP pivot for high time frame, so just confluence of here 17k and potent support on the yearly VWAP. Also on the quarterly. All the rest is really bearish. The 200 moving average where we are. Nothing more to say on this one. We have something that I'm considering unclear. You know, I've been looking at my indicator magic spread that show what some of big whales are doing, especially the one on Bitfinex. I've been seeing accumulation, buying at the previous low at 27k, buying during the downtrend here from 22 to 26k, and now I'm seeing significant selling happening today. So that's quite concerning. But in the meantime, the long are still going crazy up on Bitfinex. We can only hope that nobody gonna get liquidated, obviously, but that doesn't seem afraid, and most likely this is just a few people or entities that are doing this, because there's like it's going just crazy parabolic in a short amount of time. So yeah, it's a few entities most likely, and we are about 100 how much it is? 113. That's right. I think that's right. 113. Yes. 113,976 Bitcoin bought on margin. Bitfinex. So somebody has been buying a lot of Bitcoin since all that range. In fact, it started since the top here. Usually when they buy a lot, it is a good sign. You want to trade along this swells, you know. Here they've been buying during this downtrend. It eventually bounced pretty hard. It did previously. We don't have the full data here because I mixed the USDT and USD chart, but I'll just take the new one here. I mean, was going up during the downtrend and it went eventually retrace. Well, you see, it doesn't seem like much here because right now it's crazy amounts. But you were able to link crazy increase of longs with at least temporary bottom. It didn't always work, especially here. Well, this all during downtrend. So let's participate at it. But anyway, that's what I wanted to show. So the long are still going on. We still have the wall here, significant wall on Bitfinex Bitmap. There is still bids a bit below the current low. There is also bid above it, which for me is a good sign because it means that if there is so much bid spread above, that somebody that is expecting price maybe to go that high, and it fits the count that I have. If we look at other exchanges, we have a lot of bids. There's people that are not afraid to buy anyway. Here on Coinbase, here on FTX, we have also tighter but with fat bids that are still here defending the low. We have also here on Binance futures, we have again 2K wall. And FTX, yeah, show FTX and everything. So there's still bids. And one thing I want to explain here, because this is something I already seen in the past. And so if you have been watching me before and listening to what I said, so you know I'm looking at Magic Spread. And you may be looking at it yourself and wondering what is happening here. So I'm going to explain this bit in comparison. I think I talk about everything else. Obviously we have negative funding, a good sign. Obviously we have also SOPR below zero, so it means there's holders SOPRs. So there's holders are selling at a loss. That's usually a signal for bottom. Can look at moving profit and losses lines or realized price. Counted by address. We are below realized price, so people are selling at losses. That's what you want to see for a bottom of a, yeah, potentially bottom. Usually it's when price is trading below the realized price. So yeah, we have a lot of signal of oversold. And also, by the way, I didn't mention this on the weekly chart. Seen it yourself. We have oversold stochastic. We have oversold on all oscillators on high time frame. Weekly. In fact, we've never been so much oversold since the beginning on the weekly chart. So we have bullish, hidden bullish div, if we want, between the low of 3K and right now. But we have very oversold condition, and if you look at any greed and fear index or your personal sentiment about the market, you will see as well as you're into fear. Yeah, you know, market tend to bottom into fear. So I'm gonna finish here by explaining, just taking the comparison with something that happened in the past. So here we have seeing red magic spread, and at the same time, if you look at Bitfinex CVD, I have it on aggregated trade, you'll see that CVD is going crazy up on spot here. And so if you, here in green I have spot CVD but without Finex, and in blue I have spot CVD with Bitfinex. You see in fact that it is only Bitfinex that is making CVD going crazy up. What is CVD? It means that there is more market orders and limits, market buys and limits. And yeah, so Bitfinex CVD is up while Magic Spread is red, which means they are trading at a lower price than the other spot exchange. You can see it there yourself. Here it's trading at 2400, while Coinbase is at 2435, Betstamp 32, etc., etc. And so how is CVD going up while they are trading at a lower price? Well, it means that somebody is selling with limit orders and is forcing some kind of bot or market makers, well, market makers trade with bot, to buy with market orders because it is at a discount. So they buy it at a discount to sell it on another. Oops. They buy it at a discount on Bitfinex to sell it on another exchange for a profit instantly, either by just having a bit of Bitcoin and cash on both platforms, or using liquid network to move funds pretty quickly as well. But this means they are selling to, there is sellers on Bitfinex that are selling to other exchanges, to the market, to the whole spot market, while they were buying all the way down here, while the long is crazy up, while we know that the Bitcoin bulls are trading at Bitfinex, and supposedly they want to defend that level because it is quite crucial, and at some point they will not, unless they have enough funds to buy back all the Bitcoin a lot lower. But I mean, you want to defend the health of Bitcoin, and you want this level to held. So especially if you have the funds to do it, to make Bitcoin a strong asset and make your holding have more value, because there's not just the goal to have the maximum Bitcoin possible. You want Bitcoin to have value as well. There's no, I mean, it's totally illogical to make Bitcoin crash to have them all if there are no value anymore, obviously. So yeah, this is weird. When did this happen already? Well, it happened on this price, no, here. This moment we had also CVD going crazy up, and that was trading at a discount. We see it on the lower time frame, but on this, yeah, there was selling on Bitfinex. It was just to make a lower low here before making a rise, and then sell back during the rise, as you can see, slowly, and yeah, before it truly reverse. And sometime on even here there was selling during this move, and sometimes there is selling just to move market into a pocket of liquidity, so they can feel a nice position on another exchange, the people that are trading there. Because I'm looking at Bitfinex where I'm seeing the signature, but people that are trading, they are not only trading at Bitfinex, also trading on other exchanges. So sometimes they do this just to be able to fill a nice derivative position. But more comparable, we have this event happening here at the bottom at the 30k in June last year. We have a huge volume here, huge selling, spot CVD going crazy up as well because of Bitfinex. Well, Bitfinex was trading at a 100 discount, so it was effectively selling to the market and pushing the whole market down. And yet, it was still the bottom. Almost bottom. Was still a bit of selling here again, you see? And these two, especially these two places, that's where the market was the most fearful and was really looking for the market to break down. And so sometimes there is like this liquidity engineering. I will not say price manipulation, but liquidity engineering. Is big sales happening in a short amount of time to push price where there will be enough panic for them to fill a bigger position. So they sell, they fill the position, and they're in backup. And then they test the market again. This is a seller. They sell to keep it from rallying and dying to where they can accumulate slowly as well. And where they are done, they can just release the beast and move it back up. That's how I read it. Especially because there is this bizarre reaction of CVD and discount price at the bottom after they buy heavily during this downtrend. And everybody was starting to get bullish, and here a lot more concern and bullish again, and here okay, and then no, everybody was bearish. And so maybe that's where we are. I find it quite weird that they will be doing such a thing here where we are, because for me it seems that the market is already quite shaky and doesn't need much to crash a lot more. And there seems to be already quite overexposed on the long side. But this is a signature I already saw in the past, so yeah, here it is. Still have potential for bottoming. Maybe we go a bit lower, we break the low, and we go up. Or maybe here they're just feeling a big fat long position and we going up, and they're gonna sell to make it a fire. I don't know for sure. I show you all the scenario I have in mind. I hope I explained everything clearly and quickly enough. This is still an hour long video, but there was a lot to say. Obviously, I didn't went over too much of the news event. We just, you know what's happening. You know where we are, you know your feeling, and you know the feeling of the market and the people you are talking about it. Now that's all. Yeah, I could show you this as well before leaving. Just made fun by just pulling a few pitchfork here. So first, this is not a pitchfork, obviously this is a channel. There's two ways we can look at a target for wave 4, either by putting a channel from top of wave 1 and 3 and bottom of 2, and we supposedly have a good target for wave 4 here. Or we can pull a channel from bottom of origin of 1 and bottom of 2, then top of 1, and this is also a nice target for wave 4. Now we are lower already, but we have a few pitchfork confluences here. What do we have? We have one shift pitchfork pulled from origin of 1, top of 1, bottom of 2, and the top of this shift pitchfork is a red line here. Then we have a pitchfork original pulled from the top of the swing high here, swing low, swing high, and we have the median line, that line where we are, and then we have a green pitchfork, which one is it right now? A shift again, shift pitchfork, pulled from this swing high to this swing low to this swing high, and we are reaching the bottom of it. So we have a nice cluster of, yeah, just a low confluence of pitchfork. That was just for fun. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful, so don't hesitate to subscribe. Obviously, if you don't want to miss any of them, and you didn't, leave a like, leave a comment. I'm willing to know what's your opinion about what I said, or your own opinion about the market. And it's always appreciable. So leave a like, subscribe, share the video, and trade safe. See you everybody. Bye.